After days of rain and drizzle and fog, I left the air home driving in the fog as the cold front was meant to move through. A number of us met up at the airfield and amazingly it did come good. So a rolling start, ground was very soft, so no point in hanging around once you got it moving. The wind was coming from the right and there was a little bit of clear sky to take off into. Sun was right into the eyes, taking off on 1.8, getting rid of the flaps there once I got off the soft ground, over the runway extension and turning right and heading towards the direction we're going to go. Round in a big circle just to make sure that the cloud was flat on top and climbing up through 2.5 here and heading out west towards the Gower. Over the first bit of low cloud, up here at 3.5 now, and then passing over Port Talbot below us. There's a number of aircraft all got up and took advantage of the weather, and this is the route I took, and you can see some of the other aircraft there identifying just basically a left-hand circle round the Gower. So headed north of Swansea, up above the cloud, plenty of gaps to get down through should I need to, and then heading out down the Locher estuary. Let's get over this last bit of cloud, getting up towards 4,000 feet, and there into the left, about the 10 o'clock position, is Worm's Head, and you can see the ground speed down to 56 miles per hour. Chris and Amanda were going the other way. They'd gone around the Gower in the opposite direction. And at Rhossili down there were paragliders showing up with one indication at least. Although Chris and Amanda had told me that there was more out there. So here we are, up over the Gower, and there's Rhossili down there, and then the little village of Rhossili. Now there were, you can just about see them really, little dots. There was about 25 paragliders, hang gliders, all soaring up and down on the downs there. So I can't really zoom in anymore on this camera. It just gets a bit grainy. So Amanda has kindly let me use her footage. Oh, and those clouds forming there further down the Gower, they become significant. So this is Amanda's footage, and here we are. There's a couple of paragliders, top and bottom of the frame, some on the hill there waiting to go. It was one of those days you're glad you didn't go low across the front of it. That would have been a challenge, weaving in and out of that little lot. So, over that cloud which had started to form halfway down the Gower, and there's Swansea Bay. And from here, because I was so high, I started the descent back to Old Park Farm. Had the wind behind me. I was doing about 115 miles per hour. So there's Swansea Docks down there on the left. This is speeded up a little bit as we head downhill. You can see them downhill at about 800 feet per minute downhill and doing about 80 miles per hour. With the wind behind, I was averaging over 100 miles an hour over the ground. There in the distance you can see Port Talbot Deep Water Harbour and descending lower than the cloud. And when you've been above the clouds, it's so light and bright, and it's come down, it suddenly seemed a whole lot darker below them. But I really enjoyed the privilege of being up there for the hour or so that I was up. So came down. Now quite a few people were landing 3.6. There was a crosswind, so I thought I'd land on 3.0 into wind. This didn't seem to make any point making it difficult for myself. So there's the windmill. As you can see, the wind is coming from the left, coming round the back of it. This height, you tend not to get too much turbulence off the windmill. Still descending, quite a good rate, keeping the speed up. Coming round, there's the airfield just there in the top left hand corner. So I'm on left base here for runway 30. Around we come. Now starting to slow it up for the approach. Coming up, there's the A48 on the right there. You see hardly any turbulence as we pass behind the windmill. Round we come, slowing it up even more. Let's see, there's the A48, there's islands there. About 400 feet above ground level. Down go the flaps. And then really it's hard to see the runway there. It actually was easier. It has it's still showing the marks of the last time it was cut. And there's the street of cloud that had formed over the Gower, that coming all the way downwind, which it had to jump over to descend. So in we come, trying to keep it nice and slow, but keeping control. It's the last fence. A little bit of power, then chop the power as we go over the fence and descend into the first bit. And it's a bit of a dip up and over, takes the speed out. There we are. Thanks for watching, and a happy new year to everybody. And hopefully next year there'll be some good flying, and thank you for watching my videos.